was reported missing by his father on January 31st at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Codi Bigsby, who is a 43-year-old male, called 911 and reported that his 4-year-old son, Cody, was missing. Mr. Bigsby reported that his
morning, everybody,
was missing from his home on Renolette Drive here in the city of Hampton.
They already started the
police division responded,
press
our
brief or press conference.
Well. We immediately began searching inside and outside of the residence. Following our search of the residence and search of the surrounding area, we immediately contacted our partner agencies and deployed as many resources as we possibly could on that first day. That has continued up until today. While we were searching, Mr. Bigsby and his children were transported to our detective bureau to help us with the investigation. Mr. Bigsby, ultimately, through the investigation that we conducted, was arrested and charged with 7 counts of felony child neglect. This was based on his report of leaving his children home alone. He reported that he left home alone his 5-year-old, his 4-year-old, and his 2-year-old twins. This was reported to have occurred on numerous occasions. He reported that it was too much of a burden to bring his kids along with him. Our investigation is not over. It will not end with that arrest. In fact, in some ways, our investigation is going to start and become more intense now. Our partners, in particular, our partners with the FBI, have provided us with an extensive amount of forensic data for us to review and process and follow up on. That will take an extended period of time.
Wow.
We have many interviews to conduct. We still have areas to search, and we have many leads to follow.
Now, I had to pause it really quick because, wow. And Lady Justice, I will check the Discord DMs. I have not been looking at DMs on Discord in a good while, to be really honest, but I will check it out for sure. But this is nuts, y'all. So he would leave the kids alone. He would leave them there, chilling, while he goes off and does whatever he's doing. That's insane.
We will not stop here with this arrest. With that, do you have any questions?
Hey, Chief, you had said that, well, I'm trying to find out, can you say when the last time that when was the last time Cody was actually seen by someone outside of his father or his family? And I say that in part because the court records indicate that on January 25th, one of the charges pertained to leaving him alone on January 25th. I don't know if there's evidence that outside of the father for that, or you know, what is the evidence that you have? When was the last time he was seen?
I obviously won't speak to the evidence that we have specifically. We are still investigating the last time that Cody was seen alive and well by anyone. So if there's anybody out there that might be able to help us with that, we would like to know. The charges that speak to the events that occurred on January 25th are based on what we've done up until this point in the investigation.
Being that there is no Amber Alert issue, would Hampton Police Department be willing to stand behind the Cody Alert that would alert citizens in a local area of a kid going missing, even if it just starts locally and it stands from there? Would the Hampton Police Department support something like that?
I'd like to continue to focus on Codi Bigsby as the primary focus right now. At some point moving forward, I think there will be a lot of time to evaluate whether or not we do the right thing to keep all kids safe. I will say Amber Alert is a great tool. It was created in 1996. In 2022, we're all connected. I don't think that we had any difficulty getting the word out about this missing child. And to this day, we're not having any difficulty with that.
Chief, one of the biggest questions that people are having in the community is, where is Cody's mother? Is she being questioned? What can you
No
tell
kidding.
us to kind of put some of these questions that folks have to bed as to why she's not out here scouring
Thank you.
for her son as well?
Great question.
I appreciate everybody who's concerned and has those types of questions. I think we should all have questions when a 4-year-old child goes missing. We know where his mother is. We've spoken to her, and she has answered our questions.
Is there someone else that could be involved in the disappearance of Cody that you're looking into that maybe worked with him? Is that a possibility that you're looking into?
We've found no evidence to support someone else is involved.
Chief, this is Bianca. Go to Mike. I just have a quick question. Are you guys looking outside of the state of Virginia, maybe to some areas where you see at this moment, or your focus is just into Virginia?
Certainly, we're interested in any information that would lead someone to believe he's outside of the city of Hampton or the state of Virginia. We're certainly interested in that. Again, we have no information or facts or reasonable belief that that's the case.
Some say no to Virginia also. I don't know.
Is that a question?
No, I was saying.
Okay. Sure.
Chief, is it still, Chief, is it still your belief that Codi Bigsby can be found alive? Do you still believe that 5 days after he was reported missing?
I will tell you that we are continuing to search and hope that we can bring Codi Bigsby home. With each day that passes, we become more and more concerned, and we lose a little bit more hope.
Chief.
Obviously, the longer we go, the more tragic it feels.
Chief, is there any reason y'all was doing searches at Harris Teeter's today? And what about Starbucks and what about the
Yes, where we search, we have a reason to search.
Chief, is there any evidence that you found that Child Protective Services has intervened in, Codi Bigsby's family or followed up? Like, I know that there's a.
It would be inappropriate for me to answer that question.
Chief,
Why
there's
does
a lot
law
of
enforcement only allow 50 citizens a day to assist, and would that be a regular practice and not let more of the community assist? Because there were hundreds of people that wanted to help, and they were turned away from helping. So is that going to be a regular occurrence? If 4-year-old goes missing, there's only 50 citizens allowed to assist?
We encouraged the public's participation. We had a tremendous amount, and we continue to get a tremendous amount of support from the public. We asked for a specific number of citizens to help us on a particular day. We didn't want to extend our resources beyond what we could handle. The public is always welcome to go out, check their yards, check their trash cans, check areas that they may know, recheck what you know that we did. We are certainly not sitting in some space where we want to prevent people from helping. But we got a significant amount of public support, which we appreciate.
Chief, is Codi Bigsby still cooperating and answering your questions at this time?
He is in a jail cell right now.
Chief, why was it
So he's
hard
cooperating.
yesterday for his lawyer to get into the jail and speak with his with the father? Why was the lawyer denied access on yesterday to speak to his father?
Thank you. Mr. Bigsby is a 43-year-old man who's had a full career in the Army. He retired from a position of authority. He seems to be quite intelligent. He seems to be quite capable. And part of his capabilities seems to be understanding his rights. At no time did he request to see an attorney. Had he made such a request, we would have honored that request.
You see the loophole, y'all. See what happened with last night when we sat there and we're going, hey, why isn't he sitting there squawking, saying that he wants a lawyer? Well, you heard it from the police chief right here. He said, well, he didn't really ask for one, so we didn't need to provide him one. That's how they got him. That's how he was able to stay there for 4 days. 4 days straight. And imagine, this is a man who said that he would leave those kids days at a time by themselves. He admitted that. He would leave those kids days at a time. That's insane, y'all.
Do you know, did the children have like a regular babysitter? Who were they in contact with? Where are the other kids now?
Oh, don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Please send those likes past 100 likes. That would really mean a lot. I know a lot of y'all starting to file in and everything. I wish I could play rewind this piece because there's a lot of pieces here in the very beginning that were just huge nuggets. I'm going to see if I can find this somewhere else, or if there's going to, hopefully somebody else is going to upload this online somewhere. At least that piece, that big chunk of information in the very top of this press conference that he said, hey, Codi Bigsby would leave Codi Bigsby and his siblings by themselves while he went on trips and stuff like that, business trips, work trips. Insane. But, I mean, that's how the cops got him, through that loophole. You feel me? Got him. Got him hard.
We are not aware of a babysitter.
Where are the other children?
They're safe and thriving.
A few days ago, you said abduction was just not what the evidence was pointing to. And abduction usually some kind of violent act. Is there a chance he was handed off to a family member and a family member took that? Or would you put that under the umbrella of abduction?
There's no evidence that he was handed off to a family member. I will say I've known a few 4-year-olds in my life. I don't know any who decide at any hour of the morning when it's dark to leave their home.
Facts.
I don't know any that do that. I don't believe that that's what happened this time either.
I mean, come on now. What, he's a 4-year-old Evil Knievel up in this biznai? I mean, come on, y'all. Like I said before, yeah, I've heard kids like, getting real adventurous and stuff like that. But from my understanding, most kids at that age they're scared of the dark. They want a little nightlight and stuff like that. Why would they jump out and run out the front door, out into the wilderness, if you will? Because they don't know anything. How would they go and kick rocks like that? A 4-year-old kicking rocks like that. Real talk. That's insane. Kids want to be 4-year-olds want to be by their parents at all times. At all times, they want to be laying in their bed, laying in the bed with their mom and dad. Mommy, I had a bad nightmare, that kind of thing. I want to sleep with you tonight, that kind of thing. That's what a 4-year-old does. They don't just suddenly go and get out here and become all adventurous, want to go and hike out in the neighborhood like this. It's a 4-year-old, y'all. He wants to play toys and watch. I don't even know what kids watch anymore. You know what I mean? Like Barney. I don't know what kids watch anymore, but what do kids watch now? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? That's a brave ass, ballsy ass 4-year-old kid saying, hey, let me just run out the front door in the middle of the night in pitch black darkness. That's terrifying. Real talk. That's terrifying.
Chief, allegedly, they say he was not here. Y'all said on news multiple times. He was here voluntarily. It's alleged that he was not here voluntarily. Who was staying here for 4 days and the child missing? Was he held against his will or in custody?
Next question, please.
I wish I could rewind, but that was Rhoda Young. That was Rhoda Young in the background, yo. That was Rhoda Young. Man. She oh man, I wish I could roll that back, but she just asked a fire question, and that chief of police could not say nothing. He said, next question, please. Is he there voluntarily or was he there against his will? And the police and chief of police said, next question, please. He pretty much answered the question. Homeboy was most definitely I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. This is a serious subject, but real talk. This man was definitely held against his will. For a fact. They didn't have to tell him anything. You see what I'm saying? within the confines of things. They didn't have to tell him anything because he wasn't really arrested, and he wasn't, under arrest or anything. He's there voluntarily. So they're like, hey, man, you want to stay? Go ahead. Come on. So, we got some heat up, high pockets, like just for you. No worries. Just we got a nice, comfortable cot right here. You're not under arrest, but if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay, baby. There you go. And he just stayed. It also makes you wonder what his where his mental state was too. Right? But I'm sure within the confines of something, they were probably like, yo, no, you need to stay so we can talk about this stuff. We need to stay. You need to stay so we can talk about this. He was definitely held against his will, for sure. I'm sure this dude was ready to leave so quickly. And they probably did something. They found some loopholes to just kind of, finesse, right? Strategic Eye says, I don't think he was held against his will. If the police cannot articulate why he was at the station that long, then his case will be thrown out in court. I believe the police chief kept it moving. I see what you're saying. Thank you. Because he was appalled by the question, a child is missing, and this lady cares more about the child's possible killer. I see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying, Strategic. That's a good possibility as well. Or, that's a good point, right? Shout out to Strategic. Appreciate the comment. Let's continue here. But that is funny that he ain't saying nothing. That he's like, next question, please. And yeah, it is a logical question to ask, especially with that woman coming from that woman who was there yesterday trying to get the exclusives right there on the streets, right outside the police department's building. You see what I'm saying? So it does make sense that she's asking about that, wondering if he was held against his will or if he was there voluntarily. But, when he says no comment and you don't know things like Strategic knows right there, it makes you automatically think that he was held against his will, but they can't say anything about it because it would make him look bad. But let's continue.
So that's like that.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That's trash. Okay. Oh, come on. And that's what sucks about this is that we can't this is not live on YouTube. Just so you know, this was not live on YouTube at all. That's the one thing I hate about these lives on there. Like when they do live coverage on like their own website, you can't roll back, you can't play it forward. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can't pause for a very long time because obviously their press briefings aren't that long. But man, that sucks. Damn. Well, obviously we got what we got. We got what we needed, the meat and potatoes of everything. The chief of police did come out and give us more details surrounding this missing case of this 4-year-old boy by the name of Codi Bigsby, this beautiful kid. Let me show you his face real quick. One more again. You know what I mean? Beautiful kid. Adorable. 4-year-old kid is still missing as we speak. He is still missing right now. And they basically said that Codi Bigsby has been known, or he has confessed to the police that he has left on jobs where he has left those kids who are they are all under the age of 10, if I'm correct. I think the youngest is 2, from what I remember what the sister said. There's 3 siblings. One of them is Codi, and the other 2 are still under the age of 10, and they would be there by themselves for days at a time. No lie. No lie. That's insane. Because he felt like the trips that he would be on would not help them. would not be good for the kids. But like, who does that though? Yep. Let me pull this up. This is this is not a live coverage, but this is an article. I want to pull this up for you guys. This says a little bit more of like, this backs up what I'm saying and what the chief of police just recently said. They wrote this fast. Man. But let me blow this up a little bit more. So it says here. No thanks. Father of missing child, Codi Bigsby, admitted to leaving kids at home alone. Court records show. So the father of missing Hampton 4-year-old Codi Bigsby admitted to investigators that he had left his 4 young children, not 3, but 4, at home alone on several occasions in the past, including as recently as January 25th, court records show. In addition, he would leave them alone. They're all, from my understanding, they're all under 10 years old. But let's continue here. In addition to the 4-year-old, Codi, who still hasn't been found after being reported missing on Monday, January 31st, Codi Bigsby also has a 5-year-old and 2-year-old twins. That's the part I messed up. They're all less than 10 years old. You got a 5-year-old and 2-year-olds that are left at home alone while he goes off to work. And of course, they live in the Buckrow Point apartment, and they stay with him full time. And of course, we already know that Codi's mother lives in Washington, D.C., and from what we're hearing, maybe she's a go-go dancer, maybe she's a exotic dancer. We do not. I don't have the full information to confirm nor deny that part. But people have been saying things about the mother, right? Ikdamel. I know about Ikdamel, but I don't want to pull up his own stream on that. That gets very hairy. Okay. So I can't do that. And of course, it's copyright stuff and all that. And I want to give him respect where respect is due. I am subscribed to his channel and all that, and he's got a great channel as well. But I don't want to take from him, if that makes any sense. All right. But it is kind of BS. I think it's BS that it's not even on YouTube, that the live stream is not even on YouTube. But I digress. See, this is the problem. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem that we are facing. You talk about Gabby Petito, and it's all over the place. It's live in full Technicolor, even in 4K. You know what I'm saying? Streaming in 4K. And we get to see all that ish. But when it comes to this story, people are just starting to get hip to this. Even the BNC, the Black News Channel, is just starting to talk about it now. People are just finally starting to talk about this missing case, about this 4-year-old now. But I think it's absolute BS that they didn't have this streaming online on YouTube. I think that's trash. It was on wavy.com, wavytv.com, which is another, a news source. BS, in my personal opinion. BS, especially like people like myself and all of us that are now consumed and interested in wanting to know what happened to this boy. And they're not even doing this on YouTube. What the hell? See, even my dog's like, what's up with that? He's losing his mind. You hear him? Yeah, he mad. Tell him, Romeo. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, now shut up. Romeo. Anyway, see, just saying, I think it's BS. But anyway, in a criminal complaint, Hampton police said that Codi Bigsby confessed to leaving the children at home alone as he visited several locations over the span of 2 hours on January 25th from 5:09 p.m. to 7:09 p.m. So remember when we were watching the live yesterday from Rhoda Young, right? And Rhoda Young was saying that that there was reports of him that Codi had been missing since December 25th, since Christmas. I think they had the month wrong. So now we're hearing that January 25th, which is not Monday, just so you know, last I checked, that ain't Monday. Okay. He went to visit several locations, whatever those locations were, in the span of 2 hours on January 25th from 5:09 to 7:09 p.m. So he was gone for literally 2 hours. Codi Bigsby said the children were too much of a burden to take out with him when he leaves the home, according to the complaint. Like I said, again, let me say this one last mother-loving time. You have 4 babies. One is 5, one is 4, and 2, which are twins, are 2 years old. Now, he would leave these children by they dang self for hours at a time. And this particular day, allegedly on the 25th of January, not this past Monday. Leah R., you ain't wrong. Golly. Okay? Left these kids. Like I said, none of these kids know how to operate anything. None of them are old enough to cook nothing. None of them are old enough to make sure, oh, he made a boo-boo. He needs to change. I need to change his diaper. None of them are old enough to take care of each other. They are infants. They are babies. So you got a 5, 4, and 2 2-year-olds all by they damn selves, whilst he goes out running the streets doing God knows what he's doing. So he finally admits to that. So it's not December 25th, unless we find out some more information that it is confirmed that this young boy has been missing since Christmas. Right now, we only know January 25th. So let's make that abundantly mother-loving clear. January 25th. And at this particular time, this was not at a 2 a.m. on a Monday night type-ish. This was during the afternoon on the 25th of January. What day was the 25th of January? I'm trying to open up a calendar and it's being slow as hell. Come on. What day was the 25th of January? Somebody tell me, because my computer's being slow. It ain't being my friend right now. Tell me that. Okay? Still, no matter what, January 25th, okay? He left during the afternoon, y'all. During the afternoon. Come on. January 25th was a Tuesday. Just so you know. So the Tuesday before, thank you, Esther. But the app finally started working. So it was a Tuesday. So he had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then he decided to make the phone call Monday. So he had 6 some odd days of chilling, trying to figure out what he was going to do. Because when he came back, allegedly, that's when the child was gone. Yeah, Robert Simpson, I'm sure she's sitting there going, damn. But I don't blame the sister for having his back. I don't. That's blood. Family over everything. Always. Always. You're going to protect your loved ones until you find out more information, right? And now the truth has come out. So, yeah, she might be eating her words, but I don't blame her for having his back. I really don't. You know, that's a good sister. That's a good sister. But I'm going to say it again. Codi Bigsby says the kids were too much of a burden to take out with him. when he leaves the home. But what were you doing for 2 hours though? And then why wasn't there a babysitter or a friend or a neighbor keeping watch on the children? Bigsby was charged with on Thursday with 7 counts of child neglect after previously being named a person of interest in the case. Hampton police said his timeline for Cody's disappearance didn't match evidence collected, obviously, because he was sitting there going, he went missing last night while I was asleep. And as they looked into more information, they're like, no, bro, this seems like he's been gone for a while. This ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing. He appeared via video for an arraignment on charges Friday morning and has not yet entered a plea. There's no indication these charges are related to his missing son. A bond hearing is set for next Tuesday, as the prosecuting attorney wasn't available Friday. So they will be doing a bond hearing on Tuesday. But that still does not bring this child home. Regardless if he is here doing this, they're having the hearings and the arraignments and the bond hearings and all that stuff, that still does not bring this child home. There's something I feel that this man knows that they're not willing to say, or that he's not willing to say. There's something that this man knows that he's not willing to say, because here it is. He comes home January 25th from 5. He's out from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Let's just abbreviate this. He comes back home and he sits down and he has 6 days to think this over. 6 days. What made him not want to call that very moment? You came home and a child is gone? Then the other thing is, too, you got to put in here, too, where's the mom at, man? No one's talking about the mom. I mean, they ask questions, the reporters have, but what's the mama's name? Where is the mom? Where is it? Where is she? Where's the information that we need? But for some odd reason, we're only looking at him. Why are we only looking at him? And sure, there's a good possibility of a kid, of somebody, say if the door's unlocked, walking into that house while he's gone for those 2 hours. A lot can happen in 2 hours, right? A lot can happen. Walking in, picking up a child and just walking out. A lot can happen in 2 hours, but I don't believe that. I don't. I think there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. And I wish I could I can run this rewind. Man, that's such a pain in the ass. I'm going to try to see if I can make something happen here. Let me take a few seconds to look at some stuff. But do me a favor, y'all. I see over 200 souls watching this show. I appreciate y'all, and it shows that y'all care about this particular case. We all want to bring Codi Bigsby home. We all want Codi home. Can you please do me a favor? Hit that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up, all the positivity in the world, because the more the likes and the more comments and all that, the more this story gets pushed out into the forefront, and we can hopefully get more people to see this. And maybe the right person sees this. They might have some information that could bring this child home as quickly as possible. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. But let me see here. Let me see what I can do here. I'm going to see if I can find, maybe there's maybe somebody, because like I said, I don't like going to other people's streams and taking their streams and all that. It just doesn't feel right. It just really doesn't. But let me see here. see. I'm going to pull this up here. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see. I'm just trying to see what I can pull up and see what other information we have here. Because that live, there was other people streaming it on Facebook, but I'm having a hard time getting the Facebook to open up here. But here's something.
For WTKR.com, we're standing in front of the Hampton Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court, where just in the last hour, Codi Bigsby, father of missing 4-year-old Codi Bigsby, was arraigned on 7 counts of child neglect. We learned that there will be a bond hearing next Tuesday. It's set for 10:30 in the morning, and that's the next time he will appear in court. Now, Bigsby himself appeared on screen today as he was read his charges. The hearing didn't last any more than a few minutes. Afterwards, we were able to speak with his attorney, Jeff Ambrose, outside the courtroom, and Ambrose wanted to make it clear that these charges are not connected to Codi's actual disappearance from earlier this week. Instead, court documents suggest they stem from a couple of incidents, the first happening December 13th, when the documents say that Bigsby left 4-year-old Codi and his 2-year-old twin siblings alone at home for 3 hours while going to purchase a car in Norfolk. And then there's another complaint that suggests he left his children again on January 25th. His 3 children I just mentioned, and an additional 5-year-old sibling as well, for a couple of hours while he went out and visited multiple locations. So that is where those 7 counts of child neglect come from. Now, one concern that Bigsby's attorney talked about outside was the fact that he has not been able to meet his client yet. He says he went to Hampton Police yesterday intending to talk with his client, and he says he was denied entry. Of course, that's something we're going to have to bring up with Hampton Police and kind of find out, their side of the story there, but certainly something interesting to come out of this interview. But again, things really just getting underway. The arraignment just finishing, only lasting a couple of minutes. Next stop is that bond hearing set for 10:30 on Tuesday. Of course, for any updates, keep it here on WTKR.
No, this is just his arraignment. Okay. I think I found it. Have mercy. Yeah, I got it right here. What a pain in the ass. Hold on, guys. Okay. Here's the full thing, but we already saw a good portion of it, but I'm going to play a little bit of the beginning again, just so we can see it.
I'd like to echo Sergeant Williams' comments and thank our partner agencies, thank the public for all of their support.
Have mercy.
And
thank you to Emboss and to everybody else who's been so patient. I appreciate it. I'm going to play it again. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play a little bit of it, okay? The beginning.
Without them, we would not have been able to travel as far as we've been able to travel in this investigation at this point. This is easily one of the most comprehensive investigations that I've been a part of, and it will continue to be. I would just like to remind everybody, we are all assembled here on behalf of 4-year-old Codi Bigsby. Codi Bigsby was reported missing by his father on January 31st at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Codi Bigsby, who is a 43-year-old male, called 911 and reported that his 4-year-old son, Codi, was missing. Mr. Bigsby reported that his son was missing from his home on Renelette Drive here in the city of Hampton. The Hampton Police Division responded, including our patrol division and our detective bureau as well. We immediately began searching inside and outside of the residence. Following our search of the residence and search of the surrounding area, we immediately contacted our partner agencies and deployed as many resources as we possibly could on that first day. That has continued up until today. While we were searching, Mr. Bigsby and his children were transported to our detective bureau to help us with the investigation. Mr. Bigsby, ultimately, through the investigation that we conducted, was arrested and charged with 7 counts of felony child neglect. This was based on his report of leaving his children home alone. He reported that he left home alone his 5-year-old, his 4-year-old, and his 2-year-old twins. This was reported to have occurred on numerous occasions.
There you go.
He reported that it was too much of a burden to bring his kids along with him.
There it is again. I wanted to make sure that was abundantly clear. He said it's, that it was too much of a burden to have those kids with him and all that.
Our investigation is not over. It will not end with that arrest. In fact, in some ways, our investigation is going to start and become more intense now.
He's by himself, and he's got 4 kids that are under 10 years old, basically under 5 years old. They're 5 and below. And he's a single father, from my understanding, from what's being said. He's riding solo dolo. This is a lot. This is intense for a parent. But at the same time, that does not justify you leaving 4 young babies alone in their own home alone. That's just ridiculous. And Ricard, I agree 110%. It is selfish beyond selfish beyond selfish. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And this is a heartbreaking story, y'all. This is heartbreaking.
Our partners, in particular, our partners with the FBI, have provided us with an extensive amount of forensic data for us to review and process and follow up on. That will take an extended period of time. We have many interviews to conduct. We still have areas to search, and we have many leads to follow.
Okay. So I'm going to scroll through towards the end because we already heard all this stuff. So
we will not stop here with this arrest. He was a capable man who had every opportunity to ask for an attorney. He did not make such a request. If he would have made that request.
When the last time his mother spoke to Codi?
No, I cannot say.
Do you know when the last time?
I do not know.
Has she been asked that question?
It would be inappropriate for me to answer that question.
Chief, I don't know if you can answer this. So when Corey contacted y'all that his son was missing, had he returned from one of these situations where he had left the children at home, came home, and Codi was missing, or can you not comment on that?
I'm not going to comment on that.
okay. You got a dad that was chilling with these kids, a single father, dealing with 4 kids that are under 5 years old or 5 and under. One of your kids goes missing because you left them by themselves at hours at a time. He has done this on several occasions. He admitted to that. These kids are 5 and under. 5 and under. I don't know. You just took the words right out of my mouth. Why you bothered? Why on earth would anyone actually leave those kids all by themselves? Why on earth would why on earth would the mother as well, who we now know lives in DC, has nothing to do with the children? He is by his lonesome. And I can understand kids. It's shoot, just one child can drive a person absolutely bonkers. Okay, that can make somebody go absolutely mental. It can make somebody go lose their minds. Imagine 4 kids, but that still does not justify him leaving those 4 kids by their lonesome over and over and over again. That doesn't make any sense. Now, we now know that he has said that it was January 25th, which was last Tuesday, that Codi went missing, not this past Monday. But like I said, and I'll say it again, you still had 5-6 days to come up with some sort of lie, some sort of story. Were there drugs in his system? Is he known to have any mental health issues? What's going on here? What makes you just do what he did? And I'll say this too. Don't get it twisted. I know that when it comes to babysitters ain't cheap, y'all. I mean, I don't even have kids, okay? And I even know that. Babysitters ain't cheap. And they're hard to find. Good ones are really, really hard to find. But the fact that these children would be by themselves at hours at a time while he's running out doing whatever the hell he's doing is beyond me. Yeah. Childcare is expensive as hell, baby. That is just expensive. And I get it. He ain't got like, I'm sure doesn't have deep pockets. He's got 4 children that are under 5. That's expensive. And already on top of that, kids aren't cheap too. So you're taking care of all these kids by yourself? What does he do what is he doing for a job? Is he leaving those kids by themselves while he's off at work too? That's what it sounds like. Sounds like this ain't his first rodeo doing this. At some point, something was going to come back. Something was going to hit. The ish was going to hit the fan at some point, y'all. At some point.
Hey, Chief, for the record, some people, regardless of their educational background, still are not aware that they have the right to an attorney. So that being said, did he at any time was notified that he could have an attorney, or if someone's family
Good question.
hires a lawyer to go see their client, isn't it permissible for the attorney to go see that person? Or that
Mr. Sir, again, for everybody, I'm here for a 4-year-old child.
Right.
I'm here for a 4-year-old child. His father was made aware of his rights.
Okay.
His father was absolutely made aware of his rights.
Okay.
We will continue to do everything possible to find his sons or his child that is permissible and appropriate.
Okay,
We've never taken a step that was impermissible or inappropriate.
Yep. Like I said, they have loopholes. They found some loopholes that they can jump through and go, hey, we can do this, that, and the third. And he doesn't have to really know because legally that's still within the confines of the law. We're not breaking any laws, or we're not violating any of his own rights as a civilian. Nothing. We're good. Let's just continue. And he just said, hey, we have a kid we're trying to find. What would you do? Within the confines of the law, and if you're still keeping everything kosher, what would you do? I would do the same damn thing. I'd be like, come on, man. Keep talking. You want to lay down over here? You're more than welcome to lay down here. It's cool. No pressure. We just want to know where your son is so we can bring him home in one piece. Oh, there's a guy outside that's saying that he's your legal representation. Well, technically, we don't need to tell you. Whoops. Let's bring this kid home. I don't blame them for doing what they needed to do if that means they're bringing the child home. That's what I think. As long as it's within the confines of the law. If you're breaking the law, then that's a different conversation. But if they're within that loophole, shoot, that's what the loopholes are there for, right? And clearly this man didn't know about, doesn't know the law or doesn't know his rights, or he's so frantic and God knows where he is mentally that he's not even thinking about a lawyer. He's just so rattled and so shook by the fact that his son is gone, whether that's by his doing or elsewhere or otherwise. Clearly, this is by his wrongdoing because he would leave these kids for hours at a time. If he really did leave them from 5:09 to 7:09 on January 25th, he came back home and that child was gone, that's on him too. So God, I can only imagine what's going on in his mind and how riddled with guilt he is right now. But let's continue. You got 2 minutes left.
Chief,
Chief, can I ask you, I know a few days ago in a press conference, you said you do not believe that Codi may have gone missing when the 2 a.m. time that was originally put out. Can you say with confidence now that is not when he went missing?
What I said is that the facts that we had didn't match up with what we were being told in a number of cases. So we simply need to investigate more to determine when exactly he went missing.
Chief, for the record, we all are here for the child, but we all are here to also make sure y'all follow the laws that has been constituted. So everybody is required to have a fair trial. And if we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until we prove our innocence.
Chief, do you
Thank
feel like there's a disconnect between the disconnect between the community, law enforcement, and city officials? Because the citizens still haven't heard anything from the mayor. We still haven't heard anything from city council, and you're the chief of police and the city manager. These are who the city looks up to. And a lot of the community feels like there wasn't as much of a sense of urgency for this 4-year-old you keep mentioning as there should be. We feel as if there was a stronger local leadership, this would have been on CNN, Fox News, and every other outlet to try to find this 4-year-old that we have been tirelessly searching for the last 4 days voluntarily. So do you feel as if there's a disconnect between law enforcement, city officials, and the community?
No.
Oops.
We've been supported completely. We've been supported by the mayor, the city manager, the assistant city manager, by other agencies. Fire chief is standing up here with us. We've had a significant amount of support. I am the police chief. This is my responsibility to lead this investigation. I've had everything that I've needed to lead this investigation. There is no disconnect. I will take one more question. I will take one more question. Yes, ma'am.
You asked for the public's help in putting together a timeline of the last days before Codi was last seen. Has that been helpful? Have you been able to put together a timeline of his father's whereabouts and what he was doing?
We have a timeline that we're working on that still needs work. It's a work in progress. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Now we've heard everything. Okay. Shout out to y'all in the fam, in the group chat, in the chat and everything. I do appreciate y'all coming in and telling me where I like go back to it and all that stuff. Because I was sitting there going, bruh, like why? That's the one thing I hate about these lives that are on other websites, that are on actual websites. You can't scroll back. You can't scrub through. You can't just replay it. So I'm glad that they were able to let it process and then get uploaded. But here we have right here facts. He was there. They can't say whether or not he was held against his will or no. But he did say that these kids were a burden when going out. And I saw somebody say, I forgot who said it, but they said, I'm still hung up on the fact that he said these kids were a burden. I'm with you on that. I get heated on the thought that clearly this person, this man clearly is only thinking about himself and his own comfort rather than taking care of his 4 children. Which we also learned yesterday that he has other children as well, older children from, I guess, a previous relationship as well. So where are those kids? Where's that mother of those kids? Where's that relationship? So it makes you wonder where his mental state is. If you're going to sit there and go, oh, those kids are a burden wherever I go, a burden, that's a heavy word to say. That's a real heavy word to say about your own kin, about your own seed, right? Your own legacy that you've brought into the world. If you think children are a burden, then don't have children at all. That's what I think. Now I get that kids can be very frustrating. They can drive a person insane. Like I said, you can go mental absolutely mental over one child. But that does not justify you leaving your children behind for hours on end, hours at a time at your leisure because you need to go and take care of business, or I don't know, maybe go out and pick up some stuff or whatever you're doing, hook up with another woman, so on and so forth. But it also makes me wonder about the neighbors that are in that apartment complex, if there were other people that are watching the children for him, if he was having people watch the kids. I wonder how the breakdown was. If he just left, that's it. And he just closed the door and he's like, good luck, kids. A 5-year-old kid. Now, I've heard about kids that are like 6. I've heard stories about kids that are 6 that were learning how to cook their own eggs, that they learned how to feed themselves at 6 years old, making scrambled eggs and all that stuff, making breakfast, so on and so forth. I've heard stories about that. I have. But that's 6 years old. Not sitting here saying that there's a huge jump between 5 and 6, but you know what I'm saying. You know, that's that. But a 4-year-old kid, 5, 4, and 2-year-old twins, all by themselves. I wonder what happened with that neighborhood. Why did nobody not see this? Were there not family members or friends of Corey not knowing about what he was doing? I'm surprised CPS wasn't called on him. No, nothing. It just seems so strange that was the norm for him. And the fact that he was successful with it every single time. He was successful with it every single time to the point where he said, I'm going to keep doing it. It worked this last time. I'll do it again. It's only 2 hours. The kids won't need me for 2 hours. You got 2-year-old babies. They're 2. And you're telling me that you're not watching them every second? I mean, it's a 2-year-old baby. Even 2-year-olds need full court press attention. You know what I'm saying? So this is just crazy. And damn right, he's got 7 counts of felony child negligence because he's getting exactly what he deserves. And God knows what else they're going to be throwing on top of him as well. Just give it time. The more they coming. The hits are just about to start coming, y'all. This is only the beginning. But anyway, guys. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is the show today. This is what we know so far, which is still extremely heartbreaking because still no matter what, just because they said what they said about this information does not mean that they have found Codi Bigsby. Codi Bigsby is still out here. No one knows where this young boy is. He is still out here. Doesn't matter. Yes, this is shocking information. Absolutely. But that does not bring Codi home. And we need to bring this young boy home as soon as possible. And I hope we bring him back home alive. Daddy is not a good daddy. And that sucks. Ain't that about a bee? Man. We're going to get more information as time goes on. Hopefully we'll have some, that piece of information will hopefully open up a few more doors of more information. The chief of police did say that they are going to be intensifying, all right, their investigation around this case for Codi. But like I said, still doesn't matter. Even though he's done some seriously appalling things, does not bring this child home. And so hopefully we'll get down to the bottom of this very, very soon. So I wanted to share that with you guys, do this stream, do this live with you guys, because, I feel like there's not enough people, not enough channels talking about this. And we need to talk about this. Real talk. We do. So please hit that like button. Send those likes all the way up. Send as much positivity as you can. That would really, really mean a lot. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Crush it, destroy it, make it scream out your damn name. We're on our way towards 100,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. It would be really great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, it is time to get going. Have a wonderful one. Oh, and I will be doing a 50,000 subscriber party or hangout celebration tomorrow around 1 p.m. So please be sure to tune in, be a part of the conversation, be a part of the celebration, because we broke through the threshold of 50,000, and here's to 50,000 more, right? So we will be celebrating tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm sure I'll be popping up later on this evening with some other news if there's more information and more news popping off. So I will let you guys know when I do go live. All right. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a great rest of your day. Keep it positive. Okay, guys? This is the Pascal Show. Bye.